How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series. Sharks of Summer is a series I do around here where once a week, at least once during the summer, I take a look at a shark movie, and summer's wrapping up. Gonna get as many out there as I can before we're over with. And today we're gonna do one that I knew I had to get to. This is Sharktopus. Sharktopus from 2010. It's a SyFy Original Movie directed by Declan O'Brien, stars Sara Malakul Lane, Kerem, Bursin, and Eric Roberts, and of course, as the top of the DVD is quite eager to point out, it's produced by Roger Corman. He's a legendary B-movie horror producer, made lots of fun, campy stuff over the years. You know, the original Little Shop of Horrors, Humanoids from the Deep, lots and lots of cool stuff. Anyway, a little bit ago, more towards the beginning of Sharks of Summer, it was just about a month ago, but anyway, I did a shark movie collection part 2, where I showed you guys all the shark movies that I got between Sharks of Summer 1 and Sharks of Summer 2, and amongst those movies was this one, Sharktopus, and I got a few comments saying I really should check out Sharktopus. A lot of people saying that they really liked it and appreciated this movie, and after having watched it for myself, I can totally see the appeal, and that is primarily because Sharktopus is a really cool monster, and that's really hard to deny. He's got the shark head for the front half, and then these long octopus legs. And yeah, they're really, really long. He can do things like grab people. They have little hooks at the end so he can cut people or stab people. And he even has limited land mobility. He can walk around on the land and kind of loom over people with his giant octopus legs. Really cool, and yeah, big, big legs. Even little things like his little fin there is extra long and curved, and he's got his little spikes, which, yeah, you gotta love little spikes. But anyway, he's a cool creature. I kind of feel like with this movie, kind of the same as I did with Two-Headed Shark Attack, where Two-Headed Shark Attack, it was a cool shark, but not necessarily trapped in the best movie. Don't get me wrong, Sharktopus is way better than Two-Headed Shark Attack. They have the budget to actually make Sharktopus do more things. But overall, this is one where the plot's kind of standard. There's nothing other than Sharktopus that really stands out too much in this movie. And you can tell that the movie itself is really just an excuse to show off a fun creature, which I don't really mind. But yeah, outside of Sharktopus in this movie, not really much going on. But that being said, Sharktopus is still cool, and I guess that's why he came back for 2 sequels after this. I guess before we get into it too far, let's do a really brief, non-spoilery plot synopsis so you guys have a basic understanding as to what this movie's about. We open up with the classic setup: girl in the ocean about to get eaten by a shark. However, all of a sudden, octopus tentacles grab the shark, and it's revealed Sharktopus. He saves this lady from getting eaten by a shark and takes down a shark, which, yeah, you want to do a good setup, a nice subversion of expectations, a hero introduction, and saying, hey, our shark's more powerful, he just took out a regular shark. What do you make of that? So a cool introduction, but we find out why Sharktopus saved people, and that's because the government made him, well, through a genetic engineering company that they hired. The government made him, and they want to use him as a weapon. You know, any crime done on water, Sharktopus can observe, and if need be, stop. A cool idea, actually. Wouldn't that be a fun TV series if the government got this to work, and you just had 12 episodes of the year of Sharktopus fighting crime? Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Anyway, Sharktopus has a big sort of a band going around his head with a flashing light that will change color whenever he gets commands. And at the government base, you get this guy, the head scientist, and his daughter, and the daughter's made a bunch of work on the project, and you get a government guy that they're trying to impress, and the government guy points at a random boat and says, hey, have Sharktopus covertly follow that boat just to see if he can do it. And the daughter says, I don't really know if Sharktopus is ready for more testing. He really needs more lab time. And both her dad and the government guy say, nah, let's just do it anyway. And Sharktopus is doing pretty well until the boat makes an unexpected turn, hits Sharktopus in the head, and knocks off his control modular. Well, now Sharktopus is on a killing spree, and actually the boat that hit him just randomly hit a rock and exploded, because this movie knows, just do the explosion, right? Anyway, Sharktopus heads down to Mexico and starts killing people going up and down the coastline. I think it's in one continuous direction. And they get to Mexico, and one of the guys on the team says, you know, he's here, right? And it turns out there was a guy on their team that was really good, but, you know, kind of had that whole not paying attention to orders, wanting money, that, you know, sort of loose cannon lifestyle. So it was a really good member of their team that they fired, who's been partying in Mexico ever since they fired him. And they say, he's the best we got, give him whatever money he wants, get him back on here, him and my daughter and a bunch of red shirts go out and try to take Sharktopus back alive. And of course, amongst his crew, there's like his old best friend who's like, come on, one more time, you know. And they all go out into the water and try to stop Sharktopus's reign of terror. And I guess getting into the specifics, Sharktopus himself, like I said earlier, a really, really cool design. And it's really good to see him, and that's one thing with Sharktopus in this movie, is you actually get to see him, and that's why this movie is way better than Two-Headed Shark Attack, is Two-Headed Shark Attack didn't have a lot of money, and the shark was cool, but he didn't get to do as much as he could have. But Sharktopus gets to do everything they want. They put in the money to do a bunch of different kills, you know, any little thing they can think of Sharktopus to do, they're going to put him on the screen, he's going to do it. Now, will it look the best? Not necessarily. I think they do have a couple, like every now and then I think they built a tentacle or something. I think there is a little bit of practical, but for the most part, it is primarily a CGI Sharktopus. And a lot of times it looks like the actor's interacting with a cartoon. But this is sort of the line, you know, it's like, look, this is how good Sharktopus can look if you want him to be on screen that long. And Roger Corman says, we want him to be on screen that long. So even though Sharktopus does look like a dumb cartoon, he gets to actually be in his own movie, which for a lot of shark movies is really saying something. So yeah, it looks bad, but it's fun. And do I want to see a cartoon shark kill people? Yeah, I do. So yeah, he doesn't look great, but he's actually there and he's actually doing stuff. And I'd say that's probably the right choice, you know? Now, like I said earlier, outside of Sharktopus himself, the plot for this movie is kind of predictable. We're gonna go out and hunt Sharktopus. You get the girl who's way too serious, and the guy that just wants to live his life and just wants money, and they have to kind of learn from each other and meet in the middle. Hey, don't be so serious, but hey, you gotta take life a little bit serious. And of course, they're the classic odd couple, and maybe they'll get together. And that's sort of a basic through line. And then a lot of this movie is murder vignettes. A lot of randos to come up and have Sharktopus kill them. And to be fair, when they do their murder vignette scenes, they usually try to write a little bit of a story. Here's a character being a jerk and getting his comeuppance. Here's someone doing a fun vacation scene like bungee jumping or ziplining, and wouldn't it be cool if Sharktopus killed them there? So they do put some effort into these vignettes, even though they are for the most part unrelated, just hey, Sharktopus is killing people now. And we do even get one of them that is a cameo from Roger Corman himself, so hey, that's pretty cool. But yeah, there is a bunch of random filler in this movie. In fact, I didn't even talk about them earlier, but there's a B-plot in this movie where you get a reporter, her cameraman, and a local fisherman, and they're trying to uncover the Sharktopus story, and ultimately their plot really doesn't go anywhere, and it's just to pad out the runtime with this B story that barely matters at all in the main line. Also with padding, way too much establishing shots. You go to a place, and you film anything interesting, and whenever you go somewhere new, montage, 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 partying tourist, local artwork, local attractions, a bunch of people doing a show, film that, put it in the opening montage, anything at all with the location, way too long of a montage. And yeah, it's padding, but they never go on extraneously long, but I have noticed this in low-budget movies, way too long establishment montages. Those are in here as well. But anyway, in addition to that, obviously, there's a bunch of tiny things you can pick apart with this movie, like, oh hey, here's the tracker chips that will help us, you know, help us regain control of Sharktopus, but we only have 2 of them, and then there's like, you know, the team that they send in is like him, the girl, his best friend, red shirts, but it's not a huge team, and you're like, okay, you're hunting down Sharktopus, you think you'd have like a whole army? Yeah, there's a ton of stuff to pick apart, but again, for the most part, we're just here to watch Sharktopus kill people, and that's sort of the thing, analyzing the structure with this movie, is you have the through line, which is kind of underdeveloped, he's not serious, she's too serious, tracking Sharktopus up the coast, and then you have the fluff, you know, the reporter stuff, the randos, the over-establishment shots, but then they use that structure to put in the fun stuff. And again, it's sort of a loose framework with the through line, with the fluff, and getting into the fun stuff, and yeah, outside of Sharktopus, there's not really that much special with this movie, but it does do enough with Sharktopus, and maybe it might be better to watch a best of highlight clips on YouTube. I don't know, but they do enough to basically just prop up the cool Sharktopus stuff. So I'd recommend for the people who want dumb, cheesy B-movie fun, know that outside of the creature, not terribly much of a inventive and engaging plot, but it does enough to keep this silly, goofy momentum with the creature. So for people wanting a B-movie, for people just wanting to see dumb stuff, and for people who want to see a really original and creative creature design, I can recommend it for that. Again, the more serious among you are just gonna groan at a lot of it, but if you want stupid, sci-fi channel, dumb, cheesy fun, then hey, Sharktopus is a pretty good pick, and it's one of those that you can tell that even though the movie itself isn't that great, audiences did really respond to, kind of like the multi-headed Shark Attack series. This one, I believe, is at 3 movies right now. He fights the whale wolf, and then the Terracuda or something? So I'll definitely be trying to find those sequels. Hopefully I can get to them for the next Sharks this summer. I'll be trying to keep my eye out. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should probably be my Sharks Summer 2022 playlist. We're getting towards the end, and if you guys want to see all the episodes in order from the beginning, a playlist should pop up here. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.